Swaggy C vlog current status. I am in this crazy ass office with one of the best traders in the game, Lambo Raul.
What's up, bro?
Good, my guy?
Appreciate you for having me.
Appreciate you for blessing my channel, and I'm gonna get right into it because my audience, we may or more or less may have the same audience, but there may be some people in my audience who don't know who you are. So I like to ask a bunch of questions to get my audience familiar with you, and at the same time they can learn from you as well, because there may be something you do that I don't do. So I just want to ask a few questions.
Yeah.
First things first is, when you still have these, you know, $30,000, $40,000, $100,000 days or weeks or months, does it still excite you, or does that become more normal for you now and just like, all right, I'm used to this at this point?
Honestly, it's more stressful than anything while I'm in the position, right? Because one problem that I have is like, I really am trying to find a balance in between like letting my winners run as long as possible and also like securing profits. Right? That's kind of what I'm struggling with right now. So it's like a very high intense, like stressful situation, especially when like your fluctuations and depending on the pullbacks is kind of like, okay, I'll be up 70 grand and I'll be up $40,000. And it's like, I just lost $30,000 on unrealized gains. Then the thought process is like, okay, do I continue to hold? Do I just close? You know, what is the R multiple that I realized, et cetera, et cetera. But like after I close the position, it's like the biggest,
oh, you just breathe.
Finally. And then it's like, okay, you know what? Like I did well. It is a little bit exciting, but it's not that it's normal, but it's like I feel like I did a great job.
I got a job to do. I did it.
Yeah.
So I was talking to Q about a few hours ago, and he was saying that, you know, when he's trading, it's for a specific reason. So prime example, if he wants something that's $300,000 and he's up 120, he'll close it just to secure that and then get the 180 on another trade. When you are up, are you looking for money to be something, or are you just trying to stack up and just be a better trader each and every day?
Well, right now, like I'm kind of like refocusing my energy into a different type of trading where I'm really looking for like sustainability, but then at the same time, like I'm slowly mentally preparing myself to level up my trading and really start to manage just ultimately more capital. So like before, like I mean, at this moment in time, whenever I do a withdrawal, it's to go pay for something, whether it's like an exhaust or a watch. You know, before it was like, okay, you know what, I'm just trying to stack a bunch of bread. Now it's just like, okay, you know what, I need to invest money here. I'm gonna have trading pay for that.
Do you have, you know, trading money for something specific versus like the business? That
100%.
Like, okay, so like the business will cover something, the trading will cover some things.
100%. So like if I want trading profits to go pay for something that I'm gonna fuck around with, like, I don't know. I mean, watches could be seen as investments, but at the same time, they're like personal investments. Or like a car, right? I'll allocate money separately from my main trading account because I know I'm gonna go higher risk.
Got you.
I know I'm gonna go higher risk. And like one thing I've learned about my trading too over the years is like, if I'm going too high with the risk and my confidence is too high, I can give back a lot of those profits very quickly. So I don't want that to be my main portfolio. And in the way that I see my trading account is, even if I'm not in a position, like that capital is still at risk. So unless it's like in a checking account where you literally cannot place buy or sell, that capital is still seen as it being at risk. So I like to separate that type of capital if I'm gonna go, you know what I'm saying?
So in a world and in the industry, we're in this industry as well, but in an industry full of, you know, fake traders, you were one of the first ones to actually get a real serious verified payout from an actual prop firm.
FTMO, yeah.
FTMO specifically. One, how did that make you feel? And did that do anything for, I'm not gonna say your reputation, but reputation-wise, where it's like, oh, everybody's like, oh, this is a $100,000 payout from FTMO. That's not fake.
Yeah.
All right, cool, we can follow this guy.
Yeah, because like, I mean, people talk regardless. You know, some people say, oh, it's trading on an unregulated broker, it's fake. Even though like my withdrawals, I'll show me internal transfer to the wallet and then to a crypto wallet, you know what I'm saying? But like FTMO had been open since 2014, I believe, since before I even knew what trading was.
Absolutely.
And the fact that I was able to go on that platform, and their rules were way different back then. They had the limited trading days. You also had a max of a 300K. And
like
now
75-25 too, right?
And it was 70-30. And even with like those super tight limitations, I was still able to make, I think at the highest I took that account from a $300,000 funded account was like 476K. So I had made like an unrealized gain of 176,000. And then by the time I got cashed out, I ended up cashing out roughly at like 140. And then the payout because of the 70% was like 105. And then I feel like that was like a big like realization for the public eyes, like, okay, this guy actually knows what he's talking about. Like not anybody can just go on and get lucky. You know what I'm saying? And get a 6-figure payout, especially when you can only risk 5% on a day before you lose the account. And Like I had been gotten payouts before. Like to me, like the whole funded space was like, okay, this is a way to verify my legitimacy. So let me go get a few payouts and then go for something crazy. And then I can go back to doing what I was originally doing, you know?
Sense. How long did it take you from the time of inception of learning what a PIP is versus a real major payout where you're like, oh, nah, I actually made it? Did it take? For me, it took 4 years. I was balancing TV and babysitting. For you, how long did it take?
For me, the thing is, for me, like trading was when I first started, like everything. Like nothing else mattered. I didn't have, obviously I wasn't married, I didn't have kids at the time, you know? So I'd probably say like around the 2.5 year mark.
So what do you say to those people who follow you who are, I get this all the time, who are in year 4, but look at, you know, their idol, you know, Lambo Raul, who did it in 2 years, and they're like, all right, I'm in year 4, I feel like a failure. Like, how do you manage their psychology when you're in day trading institution, things of that nature?
Honestly, like it really just comes down to journaling, and not even just like journaling. Like you really have to be tracking your own performance, because like there's a difference between putting in work and then putting in the right type of work. Absolutely. You know, between trading and the right type of trading. You know, for me, it's like you have to, there's so many different things we could talk about. Like you have to differentiate what a good trade is versus a bad trade. And it's also like identifying, like you can have a good loss and then a bad loss. So what's the difference between a good loss and then a bad loss? And then going into a trading journal and like looking at your performance and picking up on all your bad habits, because your trading journal will tell you basically everything about your trading that you need to fix, right? So like if you're not putting in that work and you're just trading and you're looking at your MT4 history, it's not the same as literally going into the journal, looking at your actual R multiple, your planned R multiple, your win rate, not even that, like how many trades are you taking in a day, what sessions are you most profitable in, what time of day are you most profitable in, because for me, I like to have a playbook, right? So in my playbook, I have all of my setups, whether it be the breakout setups or the support and resistance bounce plays or the breaks and retests, I have them all labeled. So I could see like, okay, hey, you know what? My break of the high setups, I'm winning about 60% of the time with an actual R multiple of a 1 to 1.5 versus my bounce plays, I'm winning 50% of the time, but the R multiple is a 1 to 5, you know, just giving you a random example. So it's all there, and it's all planned and everything is all planned in like in my face. So I could see the raw results, because like you can forget about your last 3 weeks of trading performance, but your journal won't forget, and it'll all be there. You know what I'm saying? So for me, like that was like the biggest change in my career. And if people aren't doing that, because I also get those messages sometimes, bro, it's like, damn, you know, I've been training for 4 or 5 years, I haven't gotten anywhere.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It's probably because they're not putting in the right type of work, and they probably just don't have the right type of education either.
Good response. Switching off, tell the audience where we're at right now, bro. There is all these type of cars right now, what is it? Millions of dollars worth of equipment here. Where are we?
So we're in our family kind of warehouse hangout area, where we get work done upstairs. This is also where we kind of store some of our car collections. Sometimes I store my cars in here as well. We got a gym, but this is just where we come, talk business, do whatever we want, basically, you know, smoke cigars sometimes.
Just chill.
Yeah, just chill.
Speaking of business, how do you balance, you know, being a trader versus the businesses? You know, because you got to factor in your own account versus teaching people, make sure they get the concept, versus, you know, all these other businesses that you're involved in. How does that work?
I mean, so I don't feel like I've been teaching for a very long time. I feel like I've been teaching for the last maybe like 3 or 4 years out of like my 6-year journey.
That's a long time.
Right? But the thing is, it doesn't really feel that long, right? Because as I evolve as an individual and a trader, like my business only gets better because I'm able to explain and teach and allow people to, or people with different comprehension levels to really understand what I'm teaching. And what I've noticed over the last few years is that my teaching only sharpens my own skills. Right, it allows me to be more disciplined, especially like when I practice what I preach. It just elevates my trading performance overall, and people are able to see that. Like I go live with my day trading institution group, and we went live on the 26th, right, which was I believe yesterday or the day before yesterday. And the entire time for like the first hour of the session, we didn't take a trade. I've said, I'm waiting for this setup. We're waiting for this setup. We're waiting for this setup. I'm not taking a trade outside of the setup. That setup came. We all executed and made, well, I personally made like $50,000 on that position alone. And everybody saw that live. And that was the thing. It's like looking at the differences between like, you know, doing a breakdown and then actually looking at me trade live and waiting for the setup. And if the setup comes, I don't take a trade. Really makes a big difference for a lot of people.
I'm glad you said that, because Connor's on the import bureau. I did the same thing you did. Like, I feel like there's certain people who, which is, I guess, not wrong, but it's not my style, or I guess your style, which is sit behind the screen and just say, hey guys, buy this, and that's it. But there's no reflection or anything that shows them actually entering or actually benefiting or losing with 100%. And I did the same thing. I didn't trade this week at all. Last week I traded gold, and I remember because I got in on a Monday, And I said, everybody, I'm buying gold, I'm buying to 1950. And I said, I expect a little bit of drawdown, but it's going all the way up. It went down to I got it in 1932. It went down to 1929. And I got a bunch of comments saying, I'm in drawdown. You know, I called it.
Yeah.
It's not going to 1950. I'm getting out. And then on Wednesday, I want to say Wednesday at 2 a.m., it then skyrocketed to 1950. I don't know. I forgot what it was. I think it was an announcement at 2. It was FOMC at 2 o'clock, but 12 hours before, it skyrocketed to 1950. And people saw that. I clicked buy on the chart, on the live, showed them.
Yeah, you were saying.
Yeah, talk about the transparency that you have, but also how it all kind of falls back on you, whether you win or lose. Like, if you lose, are you okay with that? Because obviously you're
of course.
a full-time trader.
It was predetermined. Like, if I lose, I know it's just part of the game. Yeah. And that's something that I also said in today's live as well, because we were live all morning. I personally didn't take a position because, like, I have two portfolios. One is like a day trading portfolio, which is like a longer term portfolio. Then I have my kind of everyday portfolio where I'm scalping and taking all types of different positions in there, from day trades to scalps, right? And I let them know today, like, yo, you know, same exact way that we waited like an hour for our setup to actually form and we all made a ton of money, we could take that same exact setup, wait probably even longer, but it still doesn't guarantee that you're gonna make money. And that's what trading actually is. Absolutely. You know, and in terms of like transparency, like I said before, I mean, I have the FTMO. Yep. Whenever I do like those big withdrawals, like I'll literally show you, here's my trading account, withdraw it from my trading account to the wallet, and then from the wallet to a crypto exchange. Sometimes I've gone as far as even showing bank statements too.
I did the bank statement too, but I like blurred out like the
of course. I
love it, man. Last question for the audience. Talk to the people out there with families. How has it been balancing trading with being a father for the first time?
I mean, it's been difficult, to be honest with you. Like a lot of like the times, like before I was actually a father, and before I had a family, I was super risky on the charts. I was super risky on the charts, and that's why like I'm trying to kind of reset my psychology, because it's like I don't want to say I'm making less money now, but I'm super picky. So it's like a win. It's like a pros and cons scenario, right? I'm super picky with what setups I am gonna be taking money behind, because it's like, damn, you know what? Like if I lose these $25,000, like that's the mortgage for the family. Versus before, it's like, okay, you know, it is what it is.
That's a good point.
So it's shifted my mindset completely. But in terms of like work ethic, like I always try and get everything done within a timely manner, and really just right now I'm more or less about finding like balance in between my work life, my family life, and then my own personal time as well, because I know if I'm not gonna be good, then my family's not gonna be good either.
Absolutely.
You know?
My God. Appreciate you for the conversation. Guys, that was a simple conversation between two millionaires, and I really hope you guys enjoyed that video. Make sure you subscribe below, but also we got a podcast for you guys, a Deep Pockets podcast that's on the other channel as well. So make sure you go and watch that, because Raul has a lot more now to give you guys. See you guys later.